Welcome back, everyone, here to DreamHack Tour, the European Minor. I'm Helium, with me, Launders. We've got some information. You want to tell the people what's going on and some of the other games that are happening right now?
Sure, yeah. So we have Hellraisers beat CSGL 1610 on their map, and then we have Godsent versus ENTS 1413 at the moment.
Yeah, so those are both very, well, that last game that we just said, very close right now. And that's really cool because I think each of those teams have a lot to prove coming into this. Godsent, of course, with their performance at Malmo, and then ENTS, you know, just...
Easy for ENTS.
Easy for ENTS, right? There you go. Maybe not so easy because that game might be going the full 30. And speaking of going full 30 rounds, that's what just happened on Mirage. And we went into OT, and then finally, the team that picked the map, which was Orbit, you know, they put the pedal to the metal. They closed that one out pretty convincingly.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they got the win, right? They got the W, and that's really big for them. Ultimately was on their map pick. We've just seen shaky performances on both sides from both teams and both halves on both maps. And now they get to duke it out on train. And we expect it to just be a bloodbath because of how many mistakes are being made. At the same time, I have a little bit more faith because Mirage started to clean up a little bit, right? Some good after plans, some good site takes, right? Some fundamentals on T side being followed up. Then we saw like some hints of madness, really, where like Draken, for example, is just like trying to pull off these repeats for no reason when he has man advantage. And like, those are kind of like unforgivable errors. They're like calculated errors. You know, there aren't risks that you take because you're put in a bad spot. They're risks that you take because you want to make a play, right? And they're almost unforgivable when the round is lost. And I think on a couple of times that we called them out, they ended up losing those rounds that were very critical, especially in a map that goes beyond regulation, right?
Yeah, we saw it a few times when they were pushing Palace over there on their CT side, and then, of course, Draken pushing off not only the catwalk of Mirage, but he was doing the same thing on Dust 2 as well.
Yeah.
Just pushing off into the catwalk and wanting to maintain some mid-control. But, well, here's a map that doesn't really even have a middle. It's Train, and it will be the decider. Neither team really plays this map all that much. I think Epsilon got one win on it against Copenhagen Wolves to actually qualify for this event.
Yeah, this map just an A and B, an outside and an inside. And a very different map at that, a very unique map with a certain amount of verticality that makes it interesting. The other thing that makes it interesting is just the long lanes that you have when you're outside or inside, and pressure being put right now on the inside inner player, that is. Two people, though, to defend against them.
Wow.
Bomb gets dropped off, and Draken shoots him out of the sky. Two quick headshots with that USB. Later kid, says Draken.
Yeah, that just had to be incredible from his perspective. I think it was the player behind that coil on the upper catwalk. He finds them both, and that was the bomb. So it's down on the site, and that means everyone now on Epsilon can just make that rotation, stack the yard, maybe even stomp the yard. And now Rez moving in. He's going to get close. Not really breaking too many rules here as it was a 5-on-3, and he was working with the teammates. So Zealous gets that trade kill, and now it's a 4-on-2. Epsilon still very favored.
Definitely. Now they're... Oh, Freddy, wow, just destroys there, and Doppelin gets the final kill. Wow, Draken played huge. Those first two kills are just enormous, right? Everyone coming onto the site, like, whatever plans you had are out the window, you're now 3v5. You don't expect to win, and it's all because of two quick headshots. Beautiful stuff. Nice transition there. I like that.
Well done. So it's Draken with the crazy pistol kills at the start of this map, and then I remember it was Freddy B on Mirage with the 4K from Sandwich. So Epsilon really making the pistols work for them here in this series. I think Orbit's only got one pistol round, and then they were immediately upset afterwards.
Yeah, they only got one pistol round and are upset, exactly.
And a chance for Epsilon to get off to another 3-0 start, but it will be Orbit. You can see them all set up here in these box halls, looking to storm onto this B site, where it is very easy for the terrorists to get the bomb down on a lot of the rounds. And here it comes. Smoke down off of the lower ramp there, and this player is all waterfalling off of that upper catwalk, and they get very close to Rez. He can do nothing. The Tech 9 will take him down, and it's going to be up to Epsilon to try to retake. Doppelin has gone over. He spotted one on the ladder of the yellow train. Worried about one on Fuel Tanker as well. He's going to actually go on top of that train and push forward. Freddy B and Zelos each getting a frag, and now Freddy B again as he's got over into, what do we call this now, Launders? Is this the Summit spot?
Summit, yeah.
Freddy B has got into Summit, and it's Zelos alone. It's Orbit that actually not only get in and plant the bomb, but win the round.
Yeah, they got the after plan, they won. Wow, they actually just sealed that up off of an inner hit. when players from Epsilon were actually just willing to retake in that situation. So a big loss for them. I mean, it came close, but at the end of the day, now they have to save. Or I guess force up. That is the other option. There were only 2 alive from Orbit. The thing is, they got the bomb plant too, right? So that supplements their income even more. So they've got like really good weapons to defend against this push. And it looks like Outer is being taken pretty quickly. One Atikon though, looks like he just wanted to maintain control, have line of sight on people crossing the E-box, and that's working out well for him.
Well, Zelos going to work, hitting a couple shots, but with the scout, none of them being kills. And Rez down the ladder very, very quickly. No damage taken from him in that exchange. He gets the Galil, hops off the ladder, finds another kill with the Galil onto NKL. And he was thinking about peeking for more, but you know what? They're like, we know that some scout shots have connected. We have a man advantage, and they make that first, thought that we've seen for them to, let's back off instead of continuing to go for aggressive peaks.
Definitely. Now, here's Victor outside. Bomb's getting planted opposite bomb.
Bomb has been planted.
Reload comes out. Great after plant spot. Great retake spots, excuse me. Though one gets shut down. That's the connector, the most obvious one.
Yeah, now Doplin working around the backside with the deagle. Oh, and he gets the first shot, the headshot onto Victory. It spotted that barrel, now 3-on-2, but even still, it's hard to do the retakes on this outer yard. Doplin just missing that player down below him. Will recheck and gets the kill on to Bubble. Rez was on the bomb, Rez gets the kill as someone was already on the bomb. And okay, back-to-back rounds.
Counter-terrorists.
Well, rounds traded, right?
Yeah, rounds traded back-to-back.
The force-up successful once again. And this is what we mean, like, it's been sloppy, right? It's been sloppy. That's not the first time this happened in this series. Like, yeah, it's pretty incredible that one team is able to convert, but the fact that the team that has the advantage, the team that has done it so many times, the team that has, AKs, armor, or just rifles in general, because that would be pretty biased to say, or to highlight the fact that Orbit lost that round when it was Epsilon to lose the one previous. But just with rifles, utility, man advantage are managing to lose these rounds and throw them away. It's just gross, honestly.
It looks like Epsilon, maybe they are learning from some of the mistakes they made on Mirage and even on Dust 2, despite them winning the map. Finally got into a position where they had a man advantage and decided to not go for peaks, but instead just back off. Bomb went down, but then confident in the retake. And now it's Orbit who have gone right back in for a force. So
yeah,
a lot of chaotic rounds really early on here on Train.
Yeah, so what entices people to force is that you know the other team are kind of low, and if they have like 1 or 2 alive, then you're like, all right, if we win, then we get 2, or we get to convert back. If it's more than that, if like the team won Ego and kept 5 alive, you wouldn't want to force back because there isn't much to gain. But now the push comes out, and Doppler gets caught off guard. Really great flash from Orbit to get health control, and now there are a couple players that have to deal with Freddy. They take him down, and he was one of the only people on the bomb. Here's Zealous to actually push through and stop the plant. That could be huge. 2v4 right now. One more kill comes out. Another one is spotted. The ladder flank gets taken down. It's a 1v3 for Rez.
Yeah, and Rez, he didn't know where they were, so he just tried to back off and stay alive. He won't win that battle. Tries to spray. You can hear the screams coming out.
Everyone's faces every round. It's just...
That's twice now that they just let these players with the Tech 9s kind of just bully them. They push them back with a couple nades, and then they just run out, and they've covered so much ground by the time the Tech 9s engage. Like, your rifles don't really even have a chance. And because of the nature of this game and the nature of these teams, Epsilon coming out with the force buy into round 5.
Yeah, I don't know how much my heart could take. Like, literally all of these rounds getting
besides the
back
pistol,
and forth.
Every round has been a full buy from both teams with whatever money they had. Victor waiting on this. We'll find the first kill. Still just going to continue to hold, but it's Draken on the repeak. Spy Leader making sure does... Oh, okay. Draken going to get one more. Spy Leader cleaned up the ladder flank, but we have a 3-on-3.
3-on-3.
Who knows what's going to happen?
You know, I would really love for this entire game to just end up with rounds being traded back and forth by the team who has the least amount of equipment value winning each time. That would be amazing to watch just once, you know. That'd be nice. But now we have a 3v2. IV control is taken. Freddy is in kind of a tough spot. Looking for a kill, is not going to find it quite yet. In hell and spotted. Does some damage. Does a little more. Doesn't result in a frag though. And now finally Orbit have some stability. 1v3 for Draken, who was so powerful actually in this round. Got 2 kills.
Well, I don't think he was spotted there, but he gets information on at least one player going into the Z connector. Kind of a given spot anyway. And he's just going to wait. He wants someone to just try to walk over into his crosshair, not thinking about the CT back haul. But at some point, I think Draken just needs to get out of here and try to save this AK.
Ooh,
And
third kill.
There's a kill on to Punisher, third kill of the round. But no kit and time getting low.
Sick frags. I mean, he really wants them to look for him. He's like, I could take a fight right now.
Well, I'm sure if he can save this AK and he can bring down some more players of Orbit, that they probably would just go for another force buy.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'd hope not, but because the thing is, like, when you trade these rounds back and forth, like, whoever loses and then loses 2 in a row, you know, whoever finally loses that second in a row, their loss bonus is just wrecked, has just wrecked them economically. And, you know, this AK will most likely just get recycled, yeah. But there was good damage dealt. They basically just, all they can hope for now is to get 3 kills in this round, force a whole set of rebuys, and then win the rifle. That'll put them back on their feet. But at the end of the day, that's going to be maybe, you know, at least 4 rounds for Orbit on the T side before Epsilon begin to stabilize. So a lot more to be lost here, trading rounds early on train.
And you can see Victor does have a good read on the economy over there for Epsilon, of course. I mean, after all the force buying, you know they're going to be broke. I'm sure they're very aware of the 1 AK that was saved, but Victor's looking to pick up some quick cash with that MAC-10. He's going to push down. He'll find that first kill, and that's a bit long range for the MAC-10, but he's going to keep on going for it. Turns into the tapping, but it will actually be, I think, Spy Leader there from behind him that gets the kill. Actually, no, it was probably Punisher as he gets 1 more from that area. And KL lurking and maintaining that IV control isn't really needed now, so he just starts pushing through as they all look for Zelos. Last man up here for Epsilon. He might actually get 1 more kill.
Good spot to do it. Looking to do the damage. And he can't find him in the smoke. Actually doesn't get that frag.
Yeah, that's not the range where you want to use a CZ.
No, it's definitely not the ideal range for a CZ. No, I'm just kind of curious what the money's like for the CT specifically. If they were wrecked that badly that they wouldn't be able to buy now, and it looks like they've spent all the way down to 0, have managed to get like very decent utility, have only sacrificed the ability to buy head armor, which is not a big deal considering we see 5 AKs on the board for our Orbit.
Well, Rez with a quick, oh man, that nade straight into Spy Leader, actually connected with him before blowing up. So he's below half HP straight away, and now Rez can fall back. And that's massive, right? It doesn't kill him, but now you've got a FAMAS. That's easy one-shot headshot territory from a FAMAS. And Orbit's going to continue to play it slow. They still have some players out there maintaining that IV control, watching the mid push. And you can see Punisher here watching louder. He's the one with the bomb, so they're still geared up to go to either site right now, depending on any information or picks that they could possibly get.
Orbit recognized that there's a wounded Epsilon in front of them, right? They have the ability to not only win this round, but turn it into 2 for free. And they like to put a lot of pressure on a team by playing slow because they know they can do it. And that's by burning their utility. They know they're on a low buy, taking map control because they have all their angles covered, and then moving into a site together very slowly and meticulously as you're seeing right now. This is what Orbit are best at. There they are. They get the first entry after putting a certain amount of pressure on inner, which leaves everybody else on a rotate.
Yeah, Rez was there all alone. He had no one watching upper, but has actually Epsilon come in very, very quickly. The bomb goes down, and they find 2 frags, man advantage now as they go in for this. Only a couple flashes left to their names on the side of Epsilon. But we've got Zealous switching out to an AK, and what a one-tap onto Punisher. That's the 1 man on the site taken out. Actually, there is another man there on the inner Pop Dog train. And Doppler goes in, finds him, so they know where Bubble is. They can expect 1 more to perhaps be upper. And it's Bubble. It's Bubble doing all the work. He's going to find 2. He switches that position, runs straight into the crosshair of Draken's op, so he's taken out, but time is running low. Zealous is going to try to get onto the bomb. Draken's holding the angle. They're just gambling. They don't know he's there. He just gives it up.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness.
Why?
The timing on that, unscoping.
Why?
And losing the round for
What
the
was
team.
he going to switch to?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. He probably was so, like he should have, I don't know if he was in a position to look at lower ramp. I feel like he wasn't though.
Yeah, it seemed like he could only
So
watch
he had
upper.
no choice there but to just stick that, to hold that angle, and then gave it up because he got out patience in a situation where it doesn't matter how much patience you have, you should never even get off that. I don't know. I feel like he didn't have a way to, I don't know what his thought process was or what angles he had really to change to. I feel like he didn't have line of sight on lower ramp though. I guess if they walked out, which he wouldn't need to do. Anyways, that was really rough.
Well, this round they're just getting straight brutalized. 3 members already dead for Epsilon. And we got Rez and Doplin trying to hold on. One's hiding out in Hell over on the A site, and one's pushed up to the coils in B, who could maybe still get a kill or two. There's a place that often goes unchecked. So let's see, Smokes flashes into this inner bomb site with nothing really happening behind it. Maybe just trying to pull a rotator.
The 2 for 1 though, they do manage to convert, right? And this is just their free round. Epsilon are just so far behind now after barely losing that last round. Absolute disaster, you know, absolute disaster. Nice tap. Spites his head off of that 5-7.
Yeah, so Doplin gets close and personal, finds that first kill. Was actually saw a player earlier, but was trying to, you know, play the patience card and maybe come away with a few more kills. Maybe get out with the gun, but it's not the case. Orbit kind of dominating here on the T side. That's, I believe, 6-2 right now for them.
Yeah. And ultimately, you know, on that round, they split up in their default. They went for map control slowly. They bled all the utility dry for Epsilon and then pushed into the site. And then they put so much pressure on a site that it wasn't clear exactly what angle the inner player had to hold first. And they got that frag without him being able to kill anyone. They had a dominant round, right? Even though Epsilon almost were able to win it on that retake.
And here's Epsilon maybe doing somewhat of an adjustment, just in terms of the equipment they bring into the round. It's the double op setup. Draken and Doplin again, the ones with the ops, and it's Freddy B that's going to step up from Electrical Box. He finds 2 before being brought down by Bubble. And now the rotations have come out completely. It's Epsilon 3-on-1. Now actually NKL, he gets that kill, a second of the round. He's alive with a 1-on-2, but you can see the bomb is down in a very difficult spot.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's already got 2 kills here. He shouldn't get a 3rd, but he does. What a headshot, and has 4 HP. Who's going to tell this man no?
Well, if it's anyone, it's got to be Rez, and you know he should win this. Paula trips over the cord there. Well done.
Always trying to go for a YouTube clip.
Well, that's what NKL is trying to do right now. He's repositioning. How much time does he have left? Actually, he's got 45 seconds. So this man can go to work.
He's big chilling right now. He's up in heaven, and he assumes that someone's out on the A side. He's not right. He's not right about it. Rez actually pushed for information. And this honestly gives Rez a huge advantage. When they're going around the trains, I thought, okay, wow. Oh, he made noise. And there he gets caught off guard. Rez, just so much patience. Finds that kill. The thing is that he did so much damage, though. It's still a really, really winnable, or a really fruitful round for Orbit, because they did 4 kills. They got 4 kills. Epsilon have an AUG.
Go. Whose AUG is this?
AUG is
It's Zelos. I love it.
Legend. Joey, big fan of the AUG.
I love the AUG. I like the Krieg more.
Yeah, love the Krieg more.
Of course. And here they go, aggressive out of Ivy. Oh, smoke everywhere, flashes. This is chaos, but it's Freddy B that does find 1 kill. He's like, you know what? I kind of want to run away. He's trying. He's taking some damage. The nade goes in. That'll actually push him forward again. Coming through the smoke, he does get the 2nd kill onto NKL. In a situation that, you know, had he just backed off, ultimately it wasn't that good for Epsilon, but Freddy B stays with it, and that was a pretty big risk to go back in, but it will work out. They have man advantage.
No, I mean, I think that he actually assumed he wouldn't be able to get out, right? Because there's the side of the smoke. He's like, I'm just gonna take a fight here, right? I gotta run all the way back up Ivy. A nade just flew past me, like I'm probably gonna get spammed on my way back, and maybe I can catch someone reaggressing or looking for me. And he was right about that. He probably should have died anyway, but hit that quick headshot. Either way, super important frag, and very low HP on the part of Orbit.
And that AUG is still in play. Let's go, Zelos. Come on, you bought this thing. Put it to work.
Oh, God.
It's honestly not a bad weapon on train with all these sight lines, but okay. Okay. Maybe we don't buy that gun again. 3-on-3, but still Orbit's so low. You think, how can they do this?
Oh my God.
This is how they're doing it. Now all 3 of them are low. Spy Leader jumps into battle. That's his 2nd kill, actually. He's left on 4 HP. All of these guys within 1 shot, but they have the number advantage, and the bomb has gone down.
Wow, this is a very winnable situation. Like, most of the time you have the afterplant, you should be able to catch at least 1 person off guard to get information, but the Epsilon don't have that person to spare. That's going to leave someone else in a 1v3. And no matter how much health they have, they've got to deal with 3 bodies. And they aren't very clear about how much HP there is on each person. So now they've got to walk around. They're playing this way too slowly, considering the fact that they don't have a smoke or a Molotov left over. Oh, there's the first kill to come out. The tap comes out, and
they're not watching
both players
ladder.
turned around. Rez, no! Oh no, Rez just blew that.
Yeah.
His teammate was watching Ivy and he turned around to help him out. It really...
Such an inopportune time, right? Both of them turn around to watch the same thing, which is a mistake already.
Yeah.
And then Punisher, you know, he didn't know,
And you
but he
could say-
decides to peek out and he finds them both looking the other way.
And you could say, okay, yeah, and you know what, I got to be careful about calling out Rez specifically because who knows, maybe nobody calmed what they were doing, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Rez said, I'll watch Ivy, which would have been stupid. But like naturally, he should have watched ladder because he was in front and his teammate should have watched Ivy. But ultimately, bad communication or just simply a lack of synergy caught them off guard or made them lose in bubble.
That's
And
actually...
takes his own life.
I mean, talk about limiting economy, right? That's, you know, forced to buy equipment, and since he killed himself, he doesn't get any money.
Yeah,
So that could help out.
that's true.
But if he's the only one that dies, then ultimately it still doesn't really matter that much. So Epsilon will still have to put in a little bit more work into this round, try to bring down another player or two. As we can see, Orbit are starting to work their way towards this B site. And I guess that's shooting so that they don't hear the flash hit the wall.
It's so that they turn. You wouldn't be able to dodge it anyway, but it's so that you have their attention. Like if someone's gonna take a dry fight with me, I'll stay peeked, you know? Or maybe if I was turning around waiting for a flash, I'll turn back around and take this fight.
And NKL, he's the one just lurking outside, looking to either just catch rotators or keep some people pinned on at this site, but instead it's Rez that flies out of the ladder room and will kill him. And now that's an AK with armor and full HP over to Rez. So there is a chance now for Epsilon. Bomb hasn't even gone down yet, and it's Freddy B that gets the 1D onto Victor. Bomb planted, no kit, so they will have to go quick, but now Rez putting the AK to good use. He brings down Punisher, Spy Leader's known. He gets Freddy B and able to fall back into the halls. No utility on anyone right now. It's gonna come down to just the pure aim battles.
He fell off. He dropped out. I wonder if the peak's even gonna be made right now. Two people are going to be posted on this, but one doesn't have a better angle for Heaven right now. Spy Leader has a huge advantage.
He's trying to fix that.
Oh, he actually gets the first frag. And it's the 10 seconds, but I think he still got it.
Yeah, Rez
Quite close.
should have it. So he makes amends for maybe a round of previous on that outer bomb site. He gets that kill on an unsuspected. I think it was NKL lurking out there by himself in mid. Goes down, Rez gets the AK, gets 2 more kills with it.
Victor bit off way more than he could chew right there. He peeked Z when there was he had line of sight on someone Heaven, right? So if someone comes across the site from Heaven, then he has the opportunity to get that frag, secure it, right, and stay hidden. Instead, from upper, his position of safety when watching that, decides to peek out to Z and then expose himself to every other angle without him being able to aim at anyone. So ends up dying, and that's a huge flaw in that setup.
You can see though, Epsilon, even though they win that round, they had 1 person alive. They have a Scout, a P90, and a Mag 7 into this round, as well as a FAMAS, right? So all kind of those subpar weapons, and then it's Rez who did take away that AK. So you'll have to look to him maybe in this round to do some of the heavy lifting once more. Or Freddy B with the shotgun. I mean, this map does have some great positions for those shotguns. As Orbit take it slow. I think they're maybe expecting something quick. Bubble's gonna go back over to Ivy. They'll try to clear this as a team. It's just Doplin holding here with the FAMAS. It's gonna be pretty hard pressed to find a kill. He's got some bullets shot at him, and he is either, I think he's calling for a teammate. Yeah, but that's just a Scout, right? He gets smoked off. The Scout can do nothing to help. NKL finding the entry there over at Ivy, and Victor also finding Zelos. So right away, it's 5-on-3 for Orbit. Freddy B still holding on, and oh no. Yeah, he does get it. Victor can't really fight back in the air. Freddy B to find 1. He's picked up an AK right now. Rez is gonna even it up into a 2-on-2 there from the Z connector. Rez. And now Freddy B peeking there from ladder, but unable to find the kill. Still, the bomb has not gone down. And what is the time actually getting to? There's only 15 seconds about on the clock right now. So Orbit are gonna have to plant very, very soon. You can see Epsilon are also somewhat low. Both these players below half HP and both now coming from Z connector with just 1 flash to their name.
Ooh, Spy Leader's position becomes much stronger now that both players are coming through Z. No, this is a spot that they can't clear unless they go up the ladder, and they've got to decide whether or not they want to do that. So it looks like, yeah, we do have that happening right now, and someone else might try to take this fight for him, but Spy Leader is playing all the way back. There's almost nothing that they can do.
And then Punisher gets involved. They were both focused on the player in CT Sky.
Well played.
And I believe the player, who was it up there? Gets the last kill. Yeah, Spy Leader getting the last kill.
Yeah, playing extremely well positionally, I've noticed. Even in that 1v3, we saw that he almost won. He had a really, pretty much played it perfectly, second to second, so nice from him. And Epsilon still stuck on 4 rounds right now. 4 to the 8 of Orbit, if I'm seeing that correctly.
And we do have a bit of an update before this round gets too underway. It is Ents that will win over Godsend.
What?
19-17.
Easy
so that
for
one
Ents.
went to OT and easy to Ents. We're going to keep on saying it until it's not.
That's unreal.
Oh, look at Bubble, man. Bringing that spray down as Doppelin was falling out of the sky. So far, Train looking pretty easy for Orbit as they will find themselves another round. This will make it their 9th. Although Rez over the top, and Z does find 2. Still, though, even with that play from Rez, they're a man down on a post plant. Or a retake, I guess, from their point of view. Trying to get onto this outer site, it's so difficult to retake onto this A yard.
Yeah, it's nearly impossible, like once there's a certain amount of time has passed. And now it's just a 1v3. Rez looking to get an ace here, actually needs 2 more frags. Can't find the first one, sees someone spotting out a ladder. Wow, nice headshot, and has 1 more to complete this sequence. Has a 10-second defuse on his hands, though. Kind of the worst spot to be in. And there's the peek, he's looking for the kill, he can't find it. And I don't know if he would have got the defuse. But damn, that was close. Man, that was close.
Yeah, and you wouldn't expect him to even look back at ladder after you just killed a player there, but he kept going for it, you know, kind of quickly checking Ivy, tapping the bomb, and looking back at ladder, and he was definitely getting that kill if he had any more bullets. It was a matter of time, I think, at that point.
Yeah, he was pretty certain of it, actually, right? And that was cool to see that he had that level of awareness.
And now broken by here, Epsilon. They actually put quite a bit of money into. I wonder where that actually leaves them. And then it's Victor having this read and going straight in for the MAC-10. However, a 1 dig from Doppelin will take down NKL. Now the scout shot as well as Freddy V putting some damage there. That's Bubble out of the round. Epsilon with the 5-on-3.
A couple of players top of ladder walking around, but Epsilon clear advantage right now. And it makes you wonder, man, a lot of eco's been traded. Even at the beginning of this half, I mean, we saw Orbit come out, the last man standing in that situation, and have turned it into a very successful half overall.
Yeah, it was them to round 5 or 6, I think, until teams stopped force buying after a loss, which was a little crazy. Here's Rez close with a shotgun, finds 1, gets 2. It's a lot of money as well that they will need for the last round, and now it's just Victor, who you thought he had the read for the easy round, buying the MAC-10. Instead, Orbit come up with 0 kills there. And that's Epsilon to take 1. That gets them up to 5.
Kind of crazy. They've got a lot to work with now. The thing is that they aren't going to be playing the same, right? They had the Mag-7, which they'll probably drop because they get win bonus. Mag-7 guy got 2 kills, so he got a free 1,800, and then everybody else is just paid. And yeah, so it's going to be Orbit with a really bad buy. They've got the Tech-9 smoke on NKL. And I guess there's a chance here for Orbit to actually get a 6th round. A very good chance, that is.
I mean, Epsilon.
That's the one.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, for me, it has actually been really hard to keep the team straight. I'm so used to this being E-frag.
Yeah.
It's weird, but look at this round. Victor finding 2 with his Galil, and then there's NKL flying out of Ivy. He brings down Zelos. Now it all falls on to Rez and Draken. Rez has been so good here in this match on Train, but it's Spy Leader moving in close with the CZ. He brings down Rez, and now Draken with the op. He does get 1 here from the wider side of the old bomb train. But again, retakes onto this A yard are so incredibly difficult. So many spots to watch. They'll go up on the train.
The thing is, you can plant anywhere and watch it from almost anywhere. Like, there are best spots like Ivy and ladder. Oh, wow, someone just flying across the trains and tries to find that kill. Can't do it. 1 more opponent left. This is the last round. I mean, you got to move, right? There's not much you can do besides try to take your fight. And Punisher just messing with them pretty much, knowing that his teammate just has you know, complete security at Ivy.
Yeah, right. Just jumping around, baiting out those op shots. If Draken hit any of those, call him a god.
Yeah, and there we go. A force buy on the T side. 3 Tech-9s turns into a round. What are we watching?
And it's a double entry with the Galil. And that's 10-5.
And that's a banana.
Orbit. That is a banana. No, wait, it's not. That's not a real banana.
I know.
That's not real.
It's definitely not a real banana. But he is gripping that banana.
Too bad Inferno's not in the pool.
He's playing with that banana right now. that banana is being played with.
All right, well, we'll get out of that one. But yeah, now moving on to the
Fingers
second
are
half.
all over that banana.
Maybe someone will buy a 5-7 monkey business in the pistol round to keep the banana jokes alive.
But the banana is not making them happy.
No, yeah, you can see actually all of their faces there. They're not excited about how that half went whatsoever.
Yeah, they won the pistol, right? They won the second force-up. That's 2 rounds. They won a force-up at the second last round of the half. That's the 3rd one. They maybe won 1 decisive rifle and a clutch. So a horrible CT half overall.
Well, no 5-7 into the pistol round, but Draken pulls out a deagle. Well, I don't know, man. A deagle up against USPs just seems insane, and it ultimately is that USP from Spy Leader that will take him out of the round. So right away, advantage for Orbit. As Epsilon seemed like they were hinging quite a bit on Draken being successful with that deagle. Zelos! He picks it up and finds the 1 dig onto Spy Leader. They're just going to keep on peeking into him right now. Freddie B with the Glock brings down Bubble. They know a man's on the back of the red train. They're trying to push, yes, and Freddie B will do that. He gets the kill, and I think that's Victor from the Z connector that brings down Doplin. Man advantage here for Epsilon, and they've just been so good on these pistols. Freddie B coming away with a 3K there, I believe.
Extremely reliable on the pistols, and that's the only reason they're in the 3rd map in the first place, right? As the underdog, or maybe just a slight underdog, you need to put together pistols, supplement your economy, start off to have good starts. It's not even superstition. If you start off well, like you're probably not only more likely to get a better half. I mean, you basically allowed yourself to have freedom to lose other rounds, which in turn actually helps you win, right? And ooh, wow,
Whoa.
Nice shot from Draken.
Blind through material and into the face of a Bubble. That'll be the opening kill of the round, as Orbit have gone in for that CT force buy, as you often do on a round like this. Rez thinks he maybe checked the coils, but did not. There was a player there. Okay, he's done it now. Freddie B found out it was Punisher that was hiding on the coil. Now Rez again with this long-range spray control, getting Victor. Here's NKL up over in the bathrooms. Gets a kill and will... What did he find? He got a scout? Yeah.
A small consolation prize in a round where Epsilon are trying to stage a monumentous comeback of epic proportions where they had only earned themselves 5 rounds on CT. None of those rounds all that special, right? Rounds they probably shouldn't have won in the first place, which only says more about Orbit, who had a very dominant T-side. Lots to say about the rounds they won. Great use of map control, excellent in the clutch, good in the 2v2s and 3v3s, and have a sizable lead. So rounds to work with, right? Rounds to play with.
So biggest thing here, you really didn't expect Orbit to do anything in that round, but they do get a couple kills, and they actually came away with an AK. Spy Leader was able to save that over in Ivy, so that'll be nice. Cause a little bit more damage, but then again, they went for the first buy last round, so they can't afford to put much into this. A couple PC-50s and a CZ will come out, but that's all. And Spy Leader, first one out of the round. Draken once more, same position, scout headshot to open up the round. And perhaps some more to come, as Bubble's going to keep moving forward. NKL as well, actually fighting back from the other side. That's Orbit, 3-on-3 right now. And a player in Old Hell.
Ooh,
Could
and
cause
a ladder
problems. And
play.
Punisher, oh, you don't expect that type of accuracy from the CZ, but hits the headshot right away, and somehow with just pistols, the
God.
AK in that round didn't do anything.
When is it going
And
to
they
end?
will win it. I don't know. It makes no sense.
Joey, make it stop.
I can't. I don't have that power. I mean, I suppose I could run over there, but that might be interference.
I need a banana.
I can't believe that banana's fake. The whole best of 3, I didn't realize that was not a real banana.
When's he going to eat it? We
don't
wondered.
know. See, I bet someone has. Someone's probably tried to steal that banana and then just bit into plastic.
I wish I knew who that was so I could make a Curious George joke.
Yeah, that'd be good. Well, in this case, you'd hope it's Draken, right? Because he keep going for the repeats.
Yes, that'd be a good
That's
one.
the joke.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I cast these guys a lot online. I don't really know their faces that well.
Yep.
At least yet. As Orbit are up 11 to the 7 rounds of Epsilon here.
It is Draken's banana.
It actually is.
Please repeat Draken. Please.
Galil out for NKL on the CT side as Rez coming away with the 1 dig. And it's, all right, NKL with that Galil does find one. That's Freddy B gone down. Spy Leader just watching the smoke, making sure no one can push Ivy, but they do. It's Zelos, but NKL will turn on him and bring him down very, very quickly. Here's Rez. It looks like he did find that one Deagle kill in that inner bomb site earlier on. He looks for another, but he can't find it. Instead, it's Doplin with his op, and there is Rez's second kill with the Deagle, making this a very interesting now here in round 19. The team, once again, with the lower equipment value from the start of the round, has a chance to convert it. As the bomb comes in now, that's on Doplin.
Ooh. Oh, good.
Smart play.
Oh, wow. Victor actually getting the kill, though. And now it's just Rez. The man who got a 1D second frag of the round for him is looking for another to make this a sequence and is making it tough for Spy Leader, who can actually finish him off and gets the kill. That's kind of rough. And now actually has info, does a lot of damage, keeps him on an even footing. Victor, with a little bit of a better angle, is creeping up on him, and I don't think he's expecting this, but has made some noise now, and wow, actually jumps up on the train, finishes it off. Victor secures the 1v1. Well played from Orbit. It was really nice from did I mess them up again? Well played from Orbit, yeah, but it was really nice from Epsilon to get as many kills as they did, get the bomb down, almost win in that 2v2.
I like that Victor knows he's going against the Deagle, and it's just the quick pre-fire head level coming out. So every single time he took that battle, he was just crouching and walking forward.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it is still kind of ballsy because you limit your mobility a lot if you're just walking forward crouch, but he will come away with it. Ultimately getting the kill over the side of the train.
I think it's good. Crouch peeking is strong. You can obviously move and shoot and be accurate when you're crouched, so no disadvantages there. And pause coming out from Epsilon. Huh. I guess that makes sense right before the rifle, right? That's the kind of time that you want someone to do it. And I think they have a coach with them, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's Krill, I think is how you pronounce it.
Wonder if he supplies the bananas.
He might. So 7-12, going down 5 rounds for Epsilon. And I mean, I was actually waiting for them to take a pause in the first half, but I guess they didn't want to use their one pause when they were on the CT side still. So they wait for the second half. And, you know, it's still somewhat of a competitive scoreline right now. You know, just a couple rounds, you could break the economy of the other team, and you're right back in this from Epsilon's point of view.
Yeah.
So they've got some things to talk about. What can they do? Have you noticed anything that's maybe gone unsaid that Epsilon has been doing on this T side?
How many rounds have been played out so far in this half?
Oh God, don't make me do math. 7 plus 12, that's 19. So now we have to subtract. Why is this so hard? Let's see. Yeah, 4 rounds? Does that sound right? It seems way too low.
Yeah, so, okay, so they just haven't been able to play too many rounds out in the first place, right?
Yeah.
The halves are starting to blend together, and that's why I was curious, but there just isn't that much data. And this is actually what we saw from Epsilon on the first map, right? They took their pause really early on. They decided to do it after 1 or 2 rounds, and I mentioned that I thought that was nice because that leaves you in a position where you can do new things. Oh, they actually have to save after that, so it seemed like it was after a save.
Could have had a maybe not so great of a buy.
No, not really. Oh, you mean at the Deagle? They've still been like less than 3K on 2 or 3 players, so.
Yeah, some were low, some were above 4K, some were below 3. It was kind of all over the place. So this is certainly the better decision for Epsilon. But it means ultimately it's around 21 that we then want to look at for Epsilon after this pause.
Yeah, so the second part of the second leg of their double save.
Man, Orbit's really struggled. When a player with a pistol jumps off that upper catwalk and just storms onto this inner sight, that's how they lost a lot of those rounds early on.
Yeah, it's a really hard, like, sometimes to play inner by yourself, like, just because you have to be mindful of upper and lower at the same time. I mean, here we see the recovery is Orbit move into the site, get all their kills, lose only 1 more man. Could have been way more dangerous, right? They give up the gun, they get the bomb plant down. That guy has information way too late because somebody's already up his ass. Pushing up the left.
Whoa.
What is this, PBS? I could say ass.
It's true. There's some context there. Also a lot of talk of bananas already. Yeah, so the thing there, that's train, right? They just put a very, very light buy, even out the money a little bit, and get that bomb down. So now this buy round here coming in round 21 for Epsilon is so great. They've got everything they want. I mean, Draco maybe want more nades, but he's probably just happy with the op and armor. And this is really what the pause was going to be about here for Epsilon. And you can see Draken straight away taking the op over to Ivy. That's where Spy Leader is as well with his. Opping actually for the first time we've seen it. He's going to go down right away. Draken having, I think, the advantage there on that angle. Sees the elbow first.
Jumping up on the railing like a monkey.
There you go. Curious George.
Banana eating Draken.
And look at this. Epsilon flying out of the ladder room. It's NKL to stop them. Just finding the one kill. Close on the second. Did quite a bit of damage actually to Doppelin. And Victor is on this flank fairly quickly. Has to slow it down a little bit just to be quiet. And he's going to walk straight into the angle that Draken's holding with the op. And there's one more. He's not giving up that angle. Draken coming away with 2. And right away. I mean, it's hard to say if the adjustment after the pause worked when Draken just automatically starts off the round on your T side with the opening pick.
Yeah.
Because things tend to go well after that happens, but...
all I know is that 3K was bananas.
It was. Yeah, it was nice of him to be watching that flank so quickly and then still expecting perhaps one more. And now it's just Bubble trying to save.
Something we refer to as quite often as presence of mind, right? I mean, sometimes you want to look for the sequence, and like just finding the sequence is a skill in itself. Wow, they took down the op. That's a really big anti-save from Epsilon to close out a round where they won very, very securely. And so we do see the save pay off in the rifle. They've got a lot of work to do in spite of that, though, and have a lot on this line. I actually did a good job of saving. Now, only 2 players seem to have enough money to look in a next round if they lose this and be able to buy. You know, Orbit is actually deciding to full armor and like spend all their money here, investing in the op, trying to play off of the op and the rifle because they've got a Mag 7 and 2 pistols to supplement them.
You can see how big it was to take that one weapon away at the end of that last round from Orbit. They probably would have had a rifle, maybe even 2 more rifles if someone could have dropped going into this round. Instead, it's as easy in a 5-7. But it will be Victor getting the first kill for Orbit with his M4. Draken going to even it up, and NKL trying to hide out in the smoke and ladder. He will be bested there by Disco Doppelin. Epsilon now with the advantage.
Bad flash down the ladder, though. You should really be lining those up, you know, to make them consistent. So that's an exploitable weakness right there on the T side of Epsilon.
Well, Freddie B going to get out of Ivy for free. Spy Leader was able to get 1 more there in Sandwich, but now his location's known. Freddie B says get off of that ladder and actually pushes him out the other way where Draken can then hit the shot. And that's now all on Punisher, moving in with the Mag 7. He's known, he's up on the site, he's landed in some fire, he tries to push forward, close that distance, and Rez will not allow it.
Epsilon have this weight on their mind, right, of the fact that they lost Mirage when it was so close, the fact that they won Dust 2 when it was such a grinder, right? They have a lot on the line, right? This is a decider match, they have to be feeling the pressure, they know that they can win, they know that Orbit aren't in the best shape, that they make mistakes. That in this round, for example, they get to win and build their economy off of, and if they do play these rounds out carefully, have an opportunity in each of them. One thing they did so good on Dust 2 was getting that early kill really quickly on their T side. They know that Orbit are bad on CT side. There are exploitable weaknesses universally for Orbit across the maps.
Draken's trying to start things off again. They haven't really seen anybody. I believe the player back train gets spotted. The Molotovs are going in every which way, and it's Zelos trying to move forward with that Mac 10. Same thing could be said for Doppelin with the other SMG as he moves forward to the back of, or front of Old Bomb Train. Spot NKL on the ladder, so it won't let him do anything. And it's Spy Leader and Bubble with just USPs. Try to get an exit if you can, but even that will be difficult. Freddie B brings down the Spy Leader, and now it's all on Bubble. Will he get popped? That is the question. Not yet. All right, he actually gets a kill himself, so he does find the 1, but again, that's just the Mac 10 on Zelos. And Doppelin coming in with the other $600 kill.
For Orbit, they just have to chill, right? They just have to chill out. They've got CT side to look forward to. It's always been a problem for them, but they have all their map advantages to play off of. Epsilon are starting to encroach into dangerous territory, and they know that it's it's good, right, that they've got so many rounds, but it gets hard as Orbit start to get win bonus, the options start to improve. They are always playing against the CT side, but they know that they've won a lot of rounds so far. Looking for the opening frag is Draken. He goes down, gets traded.
Oh,
Victor
wow.
actually goes ahead and gets a second one. Disco Doplin losing a very important kill to a man who has 16 HP now.
Yeah, and Orbit in a round on the CT side, they had like really no utility to work with on this round, and it's Epsilon who just go quickly, try to, you know, peek dry into this outer site, and Victor comes away with 2 kills. And Epsilon still maybe with a bit of a chance, but it's going to be very difficult to grind this one back. I mean, Rez is alive. He seems to be the one to really step up in these situations thus far. But it's still a pretty big ask. They're going to try to smoke off Ivy and isolate the green train a bit, but NKL, he was unknown. He finds Rez. And now it's all going to be on Zealous, who's up top and exposed from every angle.
Wow, puttering to a halt our Epsilon after such a great streak, after doing so well, and then just falling apart like that outside. I mean, the first kill, okay, Draken has an opportunity, they want to walk out dry. That means you're relying on a shot to be hit. He missed his shot, ultimately, right? I mean, it wasn't a bad peak. He just simply missed. He missed a shot that he might hit 70% of the time. And that resulted in, you know, a 5v4. And then someone peeks a trade and Victor's like, I'm nuts. Like, let me get a second one.
I haven't let go of Mouse 1 yet.
Yeah, exactly.
These people are peeking me. As they're going to try to boost over this smoke, but I think it went a little too far, so it's still kind of blocking that. No one's peeking anyway. But you can see Epsilon getting, I don't know if desperate's the right word, but now starting to kind of try everything. Any small advantage to perhaps get a first kill.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 5v4 is critical. That critical number, that golden ratio of players that just gives you so much more of an advantage. Now that we have like the conclave from the Terror is starting to move into the crossfire of the CTs though at Ivy, so they might have gained a little bit of advantage getting this far up, shied away by a molly, but so close to being able to make this split quite effective. And are starting to move in. Good flash. NKL, blind and worried now, actually has to deal with 2 enemies whether he knows it or not.
Yeah, I mean, the smokes are going down again, I think. So there's a crossfire, but it's blocked up from the smoke. As I think Spy Leader did push through that smoke and grab 1, but Draken was quickly there on the trade, and he spots Bubble up there and takes the free shot of grabbing that kill. And Epsilon looking to stay alive in this matchup, keeping Orbit off of map point. It's Punisher in a 1v3, and Rez will deal with them as he tries to get through that Z connector.
And right after a round that E-Frag win because they played, everybody won their trades and they just played super standard, Epsilon come right back with a fantastic round for themselves. They get Ivy control, they keep everyone alive, they go down ladder slowly, wait in T connector, wait for players to get up Ivy, and then they split outer. The most basic like strat that anyone had invented on Train, just going right back to bread and butter and making it work. That's why Ivy control is so important, right? You give it up in that way, and you smoke one side off, and then you put pressure on the other. You go 1 for 1, which is what happened. It leaves your teammates with a lot of options. And now it's Orbit to actually be on a save and to come out 5v4 on this eco round.
That's a crazy peek off the ladder from Punisher doesn't even take a damage in that situation. He comes away with an AK.
Yeah, but why is Rez so far by himself? You know.
Yeah, he was pretty far up.
Orbit just randomly won it. Well, I don't know. Maybe they are anticipating because Orbit had so many alive last round that they were almost certainly buying, but they were basically completely wrong.
Yeah, and you did have, I mean, you had Rez kind of out so far and alone, and then you had Draken so far pulled back and reserved watching any Ivy push. And well, maybe it won't matter in the end as Freddy B starting to get involved in the round. He gets a kill there onto Victor. So now it's 4-on-4. Great place to be from the T side. But it's Punisher that got that AK. He could still be in a pivotal place, and he gets that first kill somehow immediately. He took out Doplin through that smoke, and now he's going to push the smoke himself. Moving up, Draken gets 1 kill, but now he's done. Punisher making a big effort on that round, pulling out a 3K, and it all falls onto Spy Leader right now. Armor and CZ actually does find an AK here on the ramp, and it looks to be fully loaded as well. Takes out Freddy B off of the God spot, too. What a shot. Makes some noise on the ladder.
Oh, no.
And has the smoke here, but no kit.
Wait, you can just wait for noise right now. That's the thing. It's Zealous might assume that this is like a 10-second defuse. I mean, I guess he's hoping not. What's going to happen here?
This could
Spy
be
Leader
awkward.
going to be aware of this. Oh no, that smoke doing too much good for him. Allows him to bait Zelos into getting around the bomb, but then also covering him as he finds a nice spot tucked into spools. And that 1v1 keeps Epsilon alive. I think 14 to 12 now. And that was a save though. That was a save so that Orbit would have more than enough money.
Yeah. And it was still so close.
Yeah.
But here, Orbit go once more. Actually, no ops right now. NKL here on a Famas, and Dragon not taking a shot. Took some nade damage and decided to just give up the angle. Now forced to use his flashes and smokes quite early on. Another nade going in. Dragon on 52 HP already. And look how aggressive Orbit are playing here into this outer yard. Everyone's pushed up. They've got NKL and ladder, another one in front of Red Train, but it's still Dragon that finds Spy Leader. He was playing on the back of the Green Train, and man advantage now for Epsilon.
Yeah, a bit of a victory there for Epsilon in a situation where you might be buy save. Zealous isn't able to trade though. Victor finds a kill after smoking out his teammate in T-Con. Very nice from him. Now T-Con control is taken and forfeited, but the presence of Victor was still there.
Freddie B just making this walk back with the knife, just trying to be extra efficient, but also not make any noise. And a player for Orbit is actually getting aggressive over here. It's Bubble. Is he sitting in the smoke pushing it? He does decide to push through the smoke at Ivy. And if he's fast enough, he might find them lining up smoke of their own. And yeah, that's exactly what's happening. That player we see on top of the bins, but he decides to make some steps. It seems to have gone unheard.
It's quite hard to hear. And here it is. The smoke comes out, but the bomb gets dropped, and he gets the frag.
Yeah.
NKL also helps his teammate out with a frag of his own.
That actually broke the glass and then stayed on the window pane. And since then, Disco and Freddie B each getting frags. Now a 2-on-2 here. And the bomb has been reclaimed as well. Seemed to be the biggest struggle, and they have come back against that one. But it doesn't matter. They try to get out to that A train. As a crossfire there from Orbit, it wrecks them.
Match point for Orbit. They actually do seal it up. And it's been a tumultuous couple of maps. This third one in particular. But Orbit have kind of found their feet on CT side after Epsilon had won kind of the majority of the early rounds. And now are just one away from taking the series, this decider series. The other team goes home.
And you can see Freddie B with just a deagle. Disco Dublin on a UMP. Money is tight over on Epsilon, but they're trying to survive. Orbit will have 3 match points to work with right now. Good money over there is a little tight. Spy Leader pushing forward. He knows he's got a player pinned here, but it's Freddie B with the repeak and the deagle headshot. First kill of the round goes to Epsilon.
Man advantage didn't result in the win last round. We'll see if that changes here. Orbit again, good opportunity.
All these angles that are being held here from Freddie. He's looking for another one. He's done some more damage. And
how does he live?
I have no idea. Zelos is alive and Victor's alive. Either player, you know, could have gone down.
That wasn't one of the options, Joey.
Yeah. So still 5-on-4 for Epsilon. You can see the bombs over in the White Halls by the stairs, so geared up more to go inner. Freddie B's trying to work through CT backhaul, finds one on the stairs and will win that angle out over Victor. Headshot angle hits the headshot. Draken now with his op grabs one more, and that's this inner bomb site. He's so ready for Bubble to fly through that Z connector, getting that shot as well. And now NKL 1 versus 4, and it looks like Orbit will have to dig into some of their match points.
Okay, that round is gonna, oh man, that round is actually really tough for Orbit. Such low money, economy reset. Epsilon, on the other hand, they're gonna have win bonus on top of keeping 4 alive, have the bomb plants to supplement their income, and are only 3 away from actually bringing this to OT. So, like, if we look at this half, we see like that Epsilon, apart from the pistols, right, have won, let's say 5 rifles. I think there might be 1 eco amongst them. Either way, that's like a solid performance. They're going tit for tat with the CT wins of Orbit, and so I think that this could go either way at this point.
Yeah.
When we move into the next rifle.
I mean, look at that money. They just got their money added up, and still players are below $2,000. They saved that 1 rifle on the CT side, but they can't even realistically put anything else into this round.
Economy no longer a factor, right?
Yeah.
It's just going to be saves into a buy and basically a last hurrah for both teams. If Orbit don't manage to do it in their next attempt, they'll probably just have to eat the match point loss, go to OT. So a lot riding on this for them. and it's 50-50. We look at the history of their past rounds.
Yeah, and Draken's really been turning up the heat, put it on the pressure, say what you will about his op. It's been a pretty good here, and can he find another opener on this round? Getting pressured a little bit by the 1M4 that's in play, and NKL takes it down. Victor somehow gets the first kill of the round with the USP. NKL is able to grab another, and finally a response from Epsilon, but they're in a pretty bad spot. They're a man down. Rez also taking quite a bit of damage. He's in ladder looking to peek out for one more. Spots one, hopping over into the T connector, so he'll leave. He's got the bomb. And where's his other teammate? That's Freddie B pushing out of the smoke over here at Ivy right now.
Yeah, Rez had to take a risk there that I don't think he wanted to, and has kind of pushed the bomb into an awkward spot. But now he's basically relying on Freddie to find a frag before he moves out. Rez might come around the corner to some adversity, and he does. The AK is in the hands of Bubble now, and there's only one player left. What an awful round to be able to go out on. This is just a hard loss. I don't even know how Freddie's gonna be able to do this. He's gotta get the bomb at upper, they have bomb control, and they have spots at outer where they can just wait. There's the first frag, he does actually get the kill. Now it's a 2v1.
Yeah, it's still tough, but no one has armor, so if Freddie B can just keep moving forward and hitting those first shots, the problem comes down to, you know, if Orbit pull out the team play, have a crossfire, and just trade, that will be the map for Orbit. That's
16 seconds.
here. Yeah, time is getting very, very low. He's got to get out to the bomb super fast. Whoa, and he can't even do that. Victor with the op shot will take him out right away. And on a round that had pistols, Victor somehow gets the first kill of the round with the USP. Then our one player who had an M4 gets his frag. But again, a round that should not be lost, but Epsilon lose it. And that's kind of that was the story for both of these teams in a lot of rounds across all three maps.
Yeah, it was extremely messy, but congratulations to Orbit. They do irk it out in the end. They do it on train after coming so close to just losing 2-0 in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Coming back, winning OT on Mirage, and you know, stellar performance from certain players on both teams, and also kind of lackluster in the same regard, but overall, I mean, you got to give it to Orbit. They do manage to pull out the win in the end.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much. I see that the scene has changed as I have been writing my notes. That was a pretty intense best of three. It was kind of predicted mainly it would most likely be a 2-0, but then it ended up being quite the intense 2-1. So initial thoughts after that matchup?
Well, right away, we said that it was going to come down, the series, maybe even going through maps, hinged on Dust 2, and I think that was pretty much proven true, right? The fact that Epsilon wins on that map 16-13, and honestly, they should have closed it out 2-0 on Mirage, but like the team that loses force buying and then winning rounds at the end of Mirage just put everything, you know, on tilt pretty much, and then we went over to Train.
Yeah, I was pretty much as wrong as possible, I think, with my prediction, because I even gave myself 2 outs, and I was wrong about both of them. So I was like, if Orbit win Dust 2, then, or if Epsilon win Dust 2, they'll be able to 2-1 on Train. And basically they won Dust 2 and then lost on Train. But I think that just speaks to how crazy and messy the series was in general, right? So many rounds just being converted that shouldn't have. Like, it was just eco after eco. I know you were watching. And then, you know, Epsilon being able to seal up all those pistol rounds as well, and then still manage to lose map. So there was just a lot of bad to be said about, I think, both sides from both teams, and it started to get a little bit cleaner towards the end of the series, like on Train, like a little bit more stability. But even in that second half, like T rounds being won just as many CT rounds is bad.
Yeah, if in your opinion it was quite messy, was there some CS in there which you were impressed by?
Well, we had a couple rounds that were just strung together pretty nicely, like when on Train, for instance, when Draken was getting that op to work, he was getting the first kill on quite a few rounds. Like, that was nice. And then it's like, oh, they broke the money again. This is so great. And then they lose to the pistols. And that seemed to just happen time and time again. So I don't know what it was, but the pistols were causing problems for both of these teams.
Yeah.
And I guess another consistent factor was Epsilon on pistol rounds, right? They looked so good on all of those.
Okay, well, I can tell you that we're waiting for an interview with a player. This time, instead of NKL, we're going to be getting Victor, which should be quite interesting. I've never spoken to him before. It'd be nice to get a word from him. But before we go deeper into that and go deeper into Orbit, promise then for Epsilon, they look pretty good, like going here, going forwards. Do they have like a bright future ahead of them?
Epsilon?
Yes.
You mean apart from being out?
Yes, I mean in general, not in the tournament,
yeah.
yes.
It's just the bigger scope of things.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. They've got stuff to work on. Like, they were clear. The thing is, like, like Draken was like their best and their worst enemy, right? He was like he was making huge plays, like he was getting 2 and 3 Ks that he probably shouldn't have got away with, and like hitting huge op shots. And then on other rounds, I think like coming close to costing them rounds with re-peaks and positionally, I think putting their team in jeopardy. So I don't know, like there's a lot of good to be said, I think, about Epsilon, but also a lot of bad. It's tough. I'm undecided.
All right, well, why don't we get the opinion of Victor. Victor, congratulations.
Thank you.
Overall thoughts on that match? Were you happy?
Yes, I'm very happy. The first map we will struggle a lot, but we managed to come back on the second map, and to winning the second map, it gives us so much power to do it on the third map, and we win.
Yeah, and how do you feel Epsilon played? Were you impressed by the way they played as a team? Do you think that they could have done certain things better?
Actually, they are a new team, and I think they're doing well. They are not bad, and I think they will improve a lot in the future. It was a great match by them. We was so excited to do it, but they lost in the end.
Exactly, exactly. Who in this competition then, going forwards, do you think you guys will be, who do you think will be your biggest rivals in this competition?
I think
Toughest competition?
Hellraisers, if
Okay.
we meet them.
Is that to do with the play style, or is that to do with you just think that they are the highest skilled team?
I don't think that they are higher skilled than us, but I think there is something like a black magic over us when we play versus them, and all the time we were losing versus them. And I think this tournament we will manage to beat them and win it.
All right. Guys, do you have any questions?
Yeah, what was I going to ask? I actually had something. I'll come back to it.
Yeah, no, we can come back to it. Victor, what about in that matchup? Do you think that there are things that you guys could have improved on, things that you guys could have done better? Presumably because it did end up 2-1 as opposed to 2-0.
Actually, we practiced a lot those two, and I was without words when we lost it, because I was 100% that we will beat them on those two, and it was so hard for us to do it as City side. We made so many mistakes, and it cost us the map.
That's actually what I was going to ask. It was about the veto, right? Because Dust 2, we were like, okay, Epsilon pick it. So Orbit are probably like, okay, let's play Dust 2. Like, let's end this 2-0. So the veto went your way, right? So you go into Dust 2 and then you lose. Like, what was it about Dust 2 that didn't go right?
I think Spider probably could pick Dust 2, but they pick it. We know that they're good on Dust 2, actually. But with our practice before this tournament, we played it a lot, and we think that we'll beat them easy, but it wasn't that way.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know. As City sides, we lost the first round, then it goes round after round. We are losing. They're rushing us. We don't expect them, and that's it.
What
That's
was
why we lost.
at the start of Dust 2, you guys were on the T side,
Yes.
and you didn't plant in the pistol round that you lost, but then you 4-spot 2 rounds in a
Yes,
row.
yes.
What was that about?
Actually, with the first force buy, we think that we can fake them easily. So the guys who was 2 on long can go out on the guy who is alone and kill him. And after that, we can just pressure them from so many positions, and the guys can't rotate on the position so fast. That's why. But we didn't get it. Then second force buy, we didn't get anything, and we start from 4-0.
Yeah.
All right, well, fantastic. Thank you very much for your time, Victor. We're now going to look at the statistics from the match, so you can head off. Congratulations,
Thank
you
you.
move forwards in the competition. So let's get those stats up on screen. And Launders, do you want to start off anything that you see there that comes out?
Yeah, so do you have, I think the first stat there is, kills in total, right? So this is over the course of 3 maps. So if we average it out, our boy Victor is actually leading in a big way there. Vactor, as they call him, with 82 frags. So I think his impact was palpable, right? Apart from actually looking at the raw statistics, you could see the impact frags that he was getting, right? The opening kills that he had, and that's what he's known for. I think, like someone like Spy Leader, for example, and this one, stats don't tell the whole story. Like, I felt like he was playing like really well positionally, and the stats don't give him credit for that. He came close to winning a lot of clutch rounds. I think he was never a burden to his team in situations where they needed him to stay alive, and so there's a lot to be said there as well. But Yeah, stats say so much, right?
Of course. In the end, there's more beyond the stats. Maybe, do you have anything
Well, I would
to
just
add?
say that Bubble did a very good job as well with that op. I'm not used to seeing Bubble kind of be one of the star players, like, especially on Dust 2, even though they lost. Like, he was such a thorn in the side of Epsilon with the picking of middle on both, more so the T side, but also the other way around when he was on CT. So to have him step up was really nice. I guess he did pretty well over throughout all 3 maps as well. But it was Dreamer that was always the number 2 man for this team. So the fact that they've maybe found another star player, so to speak, in Bubble could mean good things for Orbit.
It will be exciting going forwards. And why don't we update everybody on what exactly is going on this side of the tournament. We can see the bracket on screen now. Firstly, we'll take a look again at the stats from earlier. So Team Orbit beat SK 16-6, Dignitas beat Epsilon 16-11. Orbit then went on to beat lose to Dignitas 13-16, and SK went out, first team out 16-14, and Orbit now 2-1 against Epsilon. Slightly unpredictable in a way, but whatever. Sometimes we get these things wrong, and we can now see the playoff bracket for the first time. We've got Orbit and Dignitas there. Should we update everyone? Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say, should we update everybody on the scores that have passed that you might not have seen? ENCE managed to beat Godsent in overtime 19-17, and then Hellraisers took out Lounge Gaming 16-10. It would be interesting to see how many of those rounds were pistol rounds, how many were gun rounds, and that means that moving forward, we've got the winners' matches to go and the decider as well. So we've got a lot more Counter-Strike to go over this weekend and on Monday, and we've got another match coming up shortly now. Going into this evening, any teams that you're looking out for?
I'm surprised to see Godsent get knocked out by ENCE, especially because they're missing Stande, who's like a huge part of that team. So I think they'll beat Lounge Gaming like no problem, but still surprised to see them go in a lower bracket this early. But that would be like my #1 pick for the event. So
Yeah, so I guess Dignitas already 2-0'd their group, right? So they're through. That's a little bit, right? No?
Dignitas? Didn't they
not
lose? I thought Epsilon actually beat Dignitas on Cobble, wasn't it? Or SK?
No,
I can't remember who it was.
Dignitas beat Orbit and Dignitas beat Epsilon, so
Yeah.
they did
Oh, is
2-0
it?
their
Okay.
group.
Yeah, so they're through 2-0, which that's pretty expected, right? SK not having a player, and then apparently just also not playing all that well, knocked out. So that's somewhat expected, but still a bit of a disappointment for them, I imagine. Looking over at Group B, where we had these games play and we didn't get to see them, you always got to have your eye on Hellraisers right now, because Oscar is just so insane. Like, I want to see him play. Again, the ENCE Godsent matchup had to have been crazy going into OT. I would have expected Godsent to win there. And then, like you said, ENCE, they don't have Standa. They've brought in Nasu. There's only 1 letter off of Natu. Coincidence? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens. We are now going to go to a commercial break, and we will be back shortly for the final matches of this evening.